Hello and welcome to this episode of Wunderbar Garage. I'm Mike, and this is episode 3 of our $1,000 S-Class Mercedes project car. Well, it's been between about 110 and 121 degrees here in Phoenix the last couple of weeks. It's been very difficult to work, but we have made some progress. One thing we did was we completely polished the trunk area and the top of the car, and then our polisher died. We'll show you a little video of what happened to that. It overheated in this temperature, so we're going to have to wait till it cools down. We ordered another unit, and in the meantime we did clean out the trunk area real well. It's all been cleaned and shampooed. We added a tap for the battery to be able to charge it when the car's here idle. We use Shin-Etsu grease to grease all of these trunk lip seals and all the door seals, and that's going to keep them nice and soft and pliable. And we also jacked up the car, and underneath I applied fluid film to all the rubber components, which should help keep them from dry rotting here in this Phoenix area. And in addition, I replaced the fuel filter and fuel line underneath, which is a good thing because the fuel line between the filter and the pump was actually leaking and dripping gasoline, could have started a fire. So now I'm going to move onto the rear seating area and show you that next. Here in the rear seating area, I took out the mats and threw them away. They were rotted. Front mats, same thing, throw them away, ordered a new set. I ordered some in black and they're not here yet. But we did clean all the leather really well with leather cleaner, and then I put on special leather protectant, and we shampooed all the carpets, shampooed the hat rack, vacuumed everything inside here. Everything's nice, almost like it was factory new, except for the B-pillars. They're peeling, and I'll show you that better from the front here in a minute. But the B-pillars will have to be redone. But everything else in the back is just perfect. All right, so here on the front, you can take a look here at the B-pillar and see it's all peeled off. Looks really bad. This had been repaired before by the previous owners. They'd spent a lot of money on it, and whoever did it either didn't do it right or they used the wrong glue. We're not really sure. Everything else has been done up here in the front, including dyeing the seat bolsters here and around the sides. They were quite worn, so the dye matches exactly, and I've coated them and they're all fine now, ready to go. And the only other thing is, I'll show you this here in a second, is we have the door switch out because we're trying to make a 3D printed piece for a latch that's missing, and you can't buy the latch anymore from Mercedes. This is the driver's side door where we took the wood trim out where the latch is missing off the wood trim. And again, we're going to try to make a 3D printed part to fix that. Here up front, one thing we did was we replaced the windshield wipers, and we'll cut in some video to show you how that went. And then, in addition, we replaced the cabin filter that goes in the hood area. You have to take all this shroud off up front and replace the filter. It looks like it had not been replaced in probably 22 years. We also replaced the filter underneath the glove box. Same thing, quite contaminated, full of a lot of organic debris, had a very bad odor. So those have all been done as well. Everything up here has been treated with Shin-Etsu grease if it's a rubber piece. All the plastic's been treated. Everything's kind of ready to go. All we're doing now is waiting for some parts from Mercedes for the headlights. And I'm going to talk about the headlights in a minute, but we are going to rebuild the headlights, and the side marker lights will be replaced with some newer version ones. And other than that, Once that's all finished, this thing should be ready to roll, except for the bad transmission. But we think we can go forward and at least test everything else, like the engine and air conditioner, and make sure everything on here works before I invest all that money into a new automatic transmission rebuild. So having said that, I'll show you the headlight rebuild next. This is one of the headlights. I replaced the glass on both headlights. I found several of the clips missing. I think somebody had previously worked on these and failed to put on the clips. So they're on back order right now from Mercedes, so I have to finish this project in a few days when those parts come in. But I've cleaned everything up. We cleaned out the reflector bowls. Everything was going to look like a brand new light when I get done putting it on. And also, we ordered some European side marker lights. I'll show those here in a second. One of the things I discovered when I was working on the car was the passenger side signal indicator light had been replaced before with a depot version. It didn't fit all the way in. And if you look at it compared to a TYC, this one has clips on it and it's much better fit and finish. So this one actually fits like the original. It's also approved for use in Europe, whereas this one probably isn't. And the rubber and everything else around it is much better than this depot version. So I'm replacing both of the signal marker lights with clear corner type lights, and they'll have amber bulbs in them. That should all be done in the next couple of weeks. Then we'll be ready to take it for a ride, and we'll see how it goes. Still needs a transmission, but other than that, we think that's the last thing it's going to need. Thanks for watching.